Hello, you guys. Today is August 19th, 2025. It is the eve of my daughter's birthday. She'll be turning 25. And I just have a lot to tell you. So, on June the 6th, I believe, I filed for divorce. And yes, we haven't been living together for a while, like almost 3 years by the end of this month, but we hadn't filed yet. So let's take a moment of silence for my marriage. On August 15th, it became finalized. We got a Zoom link that was sent to us like maybe a week or two prior. I don't remember. Actually, no, it was like July 25th because that's the last time I was at the courthouse. With the court date of the 15th, shout out to my girl. She was in my court hearing with me when it was being finalized. And she's like, I remember you, girl. And I was like, I remember you too. Sorry, I lost my voice. And I was like, I remember you too, because I asked her during the time that she was setting my date. I'm like, do you love me? And she's like, I do. And so she remembered me. She's like, do you have your paperwork? And I'm like, oh, I turned it into you the day that I paid my fee. And she's like, oh yeah, oh yeah. So she found my paperwork and I went into the Zoom link. My ex sent me a message and he's like, he got the Zoom link. He was in there for, I don't know how long he was truthfully in there, but he said that people were coming in and out of his link, I guess, and he said it was a complete waste of time. And so he decided to leave, and I just took that as he didn't want to deal with me anymore. He didn't want to deal with it anymore, and I'm a complete waste of time, I guess is how I read it. So I went through everything. He combed through our paperwork. He's like, oh, there's a waiver on file. He's like, you got everything you want in here? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, okay, it's all right. And I'm like, am I divorced? And he was like, you're divorced. I was like, shut up. And he was like, yeah, you're divorced. I'm like, shut up. And he was like, yeah. And he was laughing. And homegirl that helped me set up my stuff, she was laughing. We had like a laugh. And then when it ended, they called me by my maiden name and they were like, you have a great day, miss. I'm not Mrs. anymore. Miss. And then my now last name, once I go through all the process of changing all that, so it's really not over for me. As a guy, you just get to move on, but for a girl, if you do decide to change your name back, you have to go through all the process of changing your name back and all that stuff. But I went through so many emotions in the last 2 months, it's been difficult because even towards the end, I was like, maybe I should call him over to the house so he can be on the same Zoom link as me so he's not by himself. And part of me is like, why am I thinking this way? Like, he proved so many times that he doesn't love me, like so many times that he doesn't love me. And why do you care if he's alone or not? And his final message was like, this is a complete waste of time, making me feel like shit. Now, I know nobody looks forward to going through a divorce or doing anything related to a divorce, but this was just something that we had agreed upon. He had brought it up several different times, like, we need to get a divorce, we need to get a divorce. So I thought he was, and the last time we saw each other face to face, he was just like, I'm moving on with my life, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I was like, okay, well, I guess he's, ready to move on with the next phase of his life. So we were in agreement that this was it, I had a divorce cake. I have a sash, it's like over there. And I realized in the moment that I was, having all these things going on, that I never celebrated my marriage in the first place. I never had a cake when we got married. When we got married, he was like, okay, and came back to my parents' house. And then he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go do my laundry. And that's how we spent our day married was he wanted to go back to base to do his laundry, and I cried. I'm going to preface this by saying he never said he wanted to marry me because he loved me. He wanted the benefits that came to being married to me, and he got BH for me. So when we discussed marriage, there was a yellow notepad. I had a twin bed in my room, and he was writing down how much he would get if he were married to me. So I do have to look back at those moments to let myself know that I was busting my ass for no reason in a relationship, and I should have treated it like a business, and I would have came out far better. A lot of people asked me about alimony and things of that nature. I did not go that route. I was entitled to it because of how long we were married and how long I was a stay-at-home mom. I was entitled, and I can go back and appeal this process, but I am entitled to that. I'm also entitled to reimbursement of anything that happened in the house up until the divorce date. I'm entitled to that as well. So the thousands of dollars I poured into this house, I actually was entitled to half of that back. But I didn't go any of that route. And I know a lot of people were disappointed in me because I didn't go for the jugular when it came to stuff like that, but that's not me in the first place. And even though like I got fucked over 10 ways to Sunday throughout the entire marriage, I just felt like, you know, I don't ever want him to think that he's the reason I have anything that I have. And even though he might say that about this house, I put the earnest money in. I'm the reason that we are out here in El Paso in the first place. It was all my money. Everything that had to do with this house was all my money from my accident. He had nothing to do with the financial, anything on getting this house or getting to this, the place that we're in right now. And I have to remember those things because I was the one that made those moves, and he can say what he wants. Yes, his signature was required. Could we have went a traditional way and got a conventional house? Yes, we could have, and either the same thing would have happened. You know what I mean? All the same steps would have happened. But yeah, I don't know what kind of mood he's been in. He tried to call me, I guess, on Friday, and I didn't return the call only because like I already felt bad enough about the situation, and I already was, you know, well, first of all, actually, after the divorce was finalized, I did go back to work, so I just treated it like it was just another day. A lot of it didn't feel different because we had been living apart so long that it's kind of like, I don't know what it felt like, you know. I felt like it was a finalization of everything that I was delusional about, I guess, because I wanted this happy life, this happy marriage, a happy everything, somebody that I can watch sunsets with, somebody that I could slow dance in the kitchen with, somebody that I could just little small things, gestures of love that I wanted in the relationship. And if I get choked up, it's just because I put up with a lot and got nothing out of it. And I'm not talking financially, I'm talking about emotionally. So it's just thinking of how much I've done in the did in the relationship. And even my dad at the end was like, wow, you know, because he was like, did you go for any like monthly payments? You're a stay-at-home mom. And I was like, no. And he was like shocked at that, but I was like, no, I didn't do any of that. And then he went on to say 45 million reasons why I shouldn't have gotten married in the first place. And I do get it. I do. Trust me, I do. There's just, you know, I think people felt like, okay, well, you guys were already living apart, so you just can move on to your next part of your life. But I don't know why. But I just feel like, you know, this is only phase one for me, really. When I was going through all my whole phases and doing all that, I think I was trying to forget everything, really. And I wasn't really processing my feelings at that time. But right now, I'm like really looking back at everything and how much he really hated me. And like birthdays. I remember like even my 21st birthday, he started a fight with me intentionally as I was getting ready to leave to go out with my friends, and I was in tears and I ended up staying home. I just never want to invite that kind of love into my life, because it wasn't just in my 20s that he did stuff like that. It was all my life, that he was all my life with him, that he was sabotaging things that were important to me. Sabotaging days that was important to me. It was pretty much the whole relationship. I remember like a more recent anniversary. I wanted to go camping. This was probably in 2017 or whatever. And I wanted to go camping, and so we went up there. I had a tent. I was so excited. I was excited to build it, and he didn't want to try to help. He didn't want to do anything. He was kind of just standing around, and I could feel his negative energy. And so I was like, let's just go. It's choking me up, because I remember calling my daughter on the way home, and I was crying to her while I was talking on the phone about how I was looking forward to that day, and he just ruined it for me. He did that on several anniversaries. Our 10-year anniversary, I was like so excited. I planned an anniversary in Vegas. Was it 10-year or 9-year? I don't remember. One of those. But either way, I got fucked. So he kept like sabotaging the times for us to renew our vows, and I was excited because I was gonna finally have a picture of our marriage, like, and something that I could frame. And he kept changing the times and like getting an attitude and whatever, and I was still trying to go along with it and all this stuff. And yeah, we never ended up doing it. I spent a lot of money on that package and I couldn't get it reimbursed. So that was another thing. That there was the Mother's Day. He's done like a few things in front of other people that have embarrassed me. Oh, there was a time even when I was like younger, I think I had Kiwana, or I was pregnant with Kiwana, but we went over to my friend's house and we ordered food. He got himself something and he didn't even get me anything, and her husband ended up getting me something. And I was just like, in front of people, bro, in front of my friends, bro, like, can you act? So I could go on and on and on. So these are things that don't even have the physical abuse element in it, but I could go on and on and on about how I was mistreated, but I don't want to focus on that really. What I do want to focus on is what had me feeling like it was okay for me to be treated that way in the relationship and stay that long while I was experiencing all the mental, physical, and financial abuse. So I want to focus on my healing from this point forward and figure out like why. I know a huge why was he reflected how I felt about myself because of what I experienced at home. So how he treated me was basically a reflection of how I felt about myself. Like I was nothing and I didn't deserve anything. And so that is part of it. But there's just so many deep-rooted things that I do have to work on healing and feeling. But yeah, and August 15th at 9:22 a.m. I became a divorced woman. And how do I feel is, I don't know. My nervous system is trying to regulate right now. Honestly, I have still a twinge of anxiety about his feelings and all that, and my daughter doesn't understand like what your body goes through when you have experienced trauma for so long. And it's not only that, I have trauma before him, so there's just a lot that my nervous system is trying to regulate at this time. And I feel like I need space to figure things out for myself at times. But sometimes I'm just like, go out and enjoy yourself. But then there's the other part of me that's like, I need to re-regulate myself. But I just take it how it comes. my daughter's gonna be turning 25 tomorrow, and that's a big deal. Like, she is a quarter of a century, so that's crazy to think. Like, what the fuck? Where did time go? And I can tell you, in their childhood lives, we've only spent like a total of 3 weeks apart, and that's when they were at my grandparents' house, and they went up there for like 2 weeks, and then I believe they took another like couple of trips with my parents, and but I essentially have seen my children grow up every single day of their lives, and to me that's crazy. What is that? I mean, it's nothing, but it looks like something like that, right? I don't have any chapstick right there. Maybe that's why I look so stuck. But yeah, I'm gonna have a 25-year-old. So what I got her for her birthday was concert tickets, a camera again, some Crocs, which I gave her today because they're the Mary Jane Crocs, and I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. And then some New Balance shoes and a camera cover. So that's what I got her for her birthday. I doubt her dad will do anything, or it'll be a Dollar Tree card or something like that. Normally I hit him up for half the cost of what I pay for her birthday, but I'm just not this year. If he remembers, he remembers. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I'm not gonna sweat the small stuff anymore. It's not my relationship. I fought long, I fought hard to try to have them maintain a good relationship, and it's just not on me anymore. The weight is not on me anymore to facilitate that relationship, and it hasn't been for a while, just because I didn't break the relationship, so I don't feel that I need to fix it. So yeah, I feel like due to there not being a lot of things that can be controlled now, that he will find another way to control something or do something, or find a way to be angry. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just always waiting for the other shoe to drop, and maybe it's just gonna be fine and everything's gonna be okay. But I'm used to things not happening for me and things not working out in my favor when it comes to stuff that I have to work with him on, because he will get angry or frustrated or whatever and then proceed to take it out on us. So I always wait for that shoe to drop. I always wait for that thing to happen, but I don't know that I want to post on this channel anymore. I look back at a lot of the videos from time to time, and I'm like, why? You know, I always try to be supportive, but even in one of our most recent phone conversations, he was trying to find a way to blame me. And let me tell you, when we had that conversation, we had two different conversations. One was with my dog involved. I was talking about my dog. I don't think he was feeling well at the time that I talked to him, and I'm like, oh, I know you don't care. He's like, oh, Wolf loves me. And I'm like, no, he doesn't, because you used to, you abused me. And then he chuckled. A week later, I filed for divorce, because you're not going to make light of my abuse ever. And then there was the conversation a few weeks later where he was taking ownership but also blaming me. So it was crazy. He called me one time and he was just talking. He was talking about the girl that he talked to, which also a clear indicator of disrespect whatsoever was him always sending me pictures of the girls that he was interested in or had been dealing with or whatever. I felt like that was disrespectful, because I never did that to him. I never sent him a picture of anyone that I fucked with. I never did any of those things because I felt like it would be disrespectful, but I saw what little respect he had for me. Now, did I care that he was dating? No, but this is the type of shit that would go on anyways. Like, the people that he would like or treat better than me or whatever the case may be. So I felt like it was just another layer of disrespect when he was doing that, because he was sending me pictures with him and her and him and her. Like, I was like, okay. I keep seeing like it looks like something, but looking, there's nothing there. But yeah, that was another clear indicator. So he was telling me that, he was sending me screenshots of conversations and this and that, and I was just like, I don't know where you feel like this is okay. Yes, we're not together. And I'll give him advice, and I would be truthful, and I'd be honest about all the advice that I gave him. I even looked out for him in a lot of situations. But when it came to me and ownership and stuff for the abuse, he was like, well, basically, I wish you would have done this more and that more. And then proceeds to name the jobs I worked. But then it was like, I wish you would have just taken the reins or whatever. And he wasn't under stress to pay the bills. The mortgage wasn't being paid for a certain amount of time. That's when he contacted me about a second mortgage, because a second mortgage was taken out because he wasn't paying the mortgage for most of the time that he was here. So from like towards the end of 1999 until June of 2019 till 2022, there wasn't really mortgage payments made. So I don't know what he was trying to tell me to take the reins on, because it was pretty much paused throughout that time. The payment started up in June. I think they gave us a notice in June. I think it was supposed to start in July, or just for us to start in June. So he did like 2 like payments or something, and then I took over from there, and I haven't had no pauses in my payments ever. But he proceeded to be like, oh, why is there another mortgage on there? And I was like, which everybody was kind of pissed at me because I didn't tell him to be responsible for that mortgage, even though he was the reason that we had the mortgage. But no, I'm okay. Like, I'm literally okay. Like, the more I think about it, I'm like, damn, I really missed a lot of opportunities in this divorce. But I'm okay. Honestly, I've been making it this far, so it is what it is. But yeah, so I'm a divorced woman now. Again, like, it's crazy. I know his family is probably ecstatic. Jamal, because I didn't give him my number, he like went through what used to be called Do. I don't know what's called Meet. What is it called now? Let me see. I don't know where the fuck that is. I don't know where that app is. Oh yeah, it's called Meet. He called me through my email, so he was like, you think you're getting away from me? As a matter of fact, y'all, I met some of his friends, and that was weird. You know, my ex didn't really have friends. I met his friend Johnson, and I hung out with him when I was back home, and we did talk about me divorcing him, and the things he said was just hilarious. But yeah, I don't know. I did want to hit up his friend Porter, because Porter, he was basically like, after we had this long conversation with him, like a long conversation with him, bro. And it was for hours, and basically he was telling him how much of he wasn't a man and this and that, and I felt some type of way, and I don't know why I did, because he never stuck up for me. Like, if people trash talk me, like his family or whoever, he basically would trash talk with them, or he would be the reason that they were trash talking. So anyways, I felt some type of way because he was talking about my then husband, and so I didn't talk to him anymore. But like I said, I don't know why I stood up for him, because he bashed me any way he could to anyone he could. But he always told me, he's like, you're the one running the show. You're the brains behind all of this. Like, you know, he picked me up so much. And it was around that time, because it was like in 2019, that I started like being like, damn, yeah, I did. He was like, you did this for the house, you did that. And it was even something as simple as me talking about the windows being double pane. And he was like, see, you don't even know these things, blah, blah, blah. And he was telling him, but he was talking down to him like crazy. And I was like, it did make me look at him different, because I'm like, yo, like, what kind of man is going to let another man talk to him that crazy? You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. I don't give a fuck who it is. Like, why are you letting him talk to you like that? And, yeah, it was crazy. Also, he didn't even stand up for her daughter. He made weird comments about her daughter, and he didn't even stand up for her daughter. And he was like, look, she's the one standing up for her, and you didn't say anything. Like, that conversation was very eye-opening. It always stuck with me the whole time. Kimani did not like him, obviously, because he made some weird comments to her. But yeah, it was really, really eye-opening, that conversation, and it did go on for hours. There was a time where he asked me to leave the room to talk with him. I don't know what he said in that point. But either way, to have somebody, and even he brought it up later on, like, yo, like, a guy that I think I still have the messages, because he was pretty much telling me the things that I ended up, like, a year later being like, yo, he's right, he's definitely right. So there's that. But I don't know, I was using this time to introspectively, like, for the last 2 months, just figure out, well, first of all, I was questioning my decisions all the time. Like, is this right? Not because I wanted to be with him or anything. I don't know. It was just a lot of stuff that I was considering. But at the end of the day, we made it, y'all. We did it, Joes. I still want the same exact life I've always dreamed of. It's just being in the country, surrounded by trees, beautiful air, and just sometimes in my visions, it's just me, honey. It's just me being peaceful in the middle of nowhere and just growing shit. And I could still, depending on the state, work from home, and I could just chill like that. And then whenever my team's playing, go find a place and go be there and go watch the games. And I think I want to kind of start going to boxing. I think I'm, like, interested enough in to start going to boxing, so I think I'm gonna do that too, because I do like boxing. I don't remember how I got into it. I think, honestly, to be honest, I went on a date and we watched boxing at Dave and Buster's, and I was, like, hooked after that. It was nice. And we used to go to my friends in California too, and it was nice. But I didn't really get to watch the game because we would, like, talk mostly. But I think I do like boxing. It's a little barbaric, but maybe that's why I like it. Just testosterone everywhere. But I think, yeah, I want to do that. Like, it's about to be time for me to be going to the sports bars again and watching my games. Shout out to my girl who gave me her Prime so I could log in and watch the games, because apparently the NBA is streaming on Prime, and I was like, I do not want to pay for yet another motherfucking subscription. So shout out to her, because I was just gonna get League Pass, but I don't see the League Pass on there. I don't even know what the fuck's going on, because that's easy. But yeah, y'all, it has been time. I love you all. Shout out to you. Please, please, please love yourself. Please, 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 please make sure that you love yourself so much that when you see a red flag that is a non-negotiable, that you are able to walk away from that, because it doesn't get better. All the red flags were in the beginning of my relationship. All of them. The ones that proved that he was going to talk down to me, the ones that showed that he was going to abuse me, all those red flags were in the beginning. I just thought I could love him out of all that. And yeah, that was dumb. Don't be me. But anyways, I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful day. We closed one chapter. It's the end of an era. But for those of you that knew us as a couple, you know, things do happen. And the reality behind the real is not everything is really shown in reality. And you don't always get to see everything. Y'all, before I wholly and solely piece the fuck out, imagine, I just got off the phone with my ex. Imagine he called me and I was dressed like this as I was saying, like, rest in peace to the marriage. he didn't know that the divorce was finalized. He had no idea. Like, on my paperwork, it showed that he was emailed the paperwork too, because he's been emailed everything I've been emailed the entire time with regard to court dates. Anything that I got, he got, and so he was forwarding them all to me. He also asked me why we talk on WhatsApp. Like, why does it matter if we're talking? But yeah, so it was kind of funny and weird because I hadn't talked to him. He was asking about Kimana's birthday, which I was surprised that he even asked about. But yeah, it was an interesting conversation. To say that it wasn't interesting at all. He was lecturing me about my child, and that got annoying, but we got it sorted because I was like, I'm not tolerating this, like, what the fuck. But I'm about to see if I have the energy to download this shit and take care of it and edit it. And then I'm gonna piece the fuck out and go to bed. But this, it has gloves with it too. I'm like, maybe I should be like a dead bride for Halloween, because like a whole ass veil. But in reality, you guys, in real fucking life, I do want to get married on Halloween if I do ever get married again. So this right here, I wouldn't use my divorce veil, but I would use a different one. Maybe a better one, but this is something I could totally role play with. So I might put it in my chest. Just that thing right there, bench, with my other whips and chains. But I love you guys. I just thought it was funny that it happened that way, because I was really sitting here like, rest in peace to my marriage. It has been fun, but we must part ways. And he's like, yo, can we talk on the phone versus this? I'm glad it wasn't a video call, because he would have been like, bitch, what are you doing? But yeah, I'd have been like, yeah, I'm just saying goodbye to all the memories. Now it's time to say goodbye. I do it M-I-C, zero soon, K-E-Y. Why? Because I love you. M-O-U-S-E. Girl, he's gonna think I'm sick in the head, and it probably does look like that. Like, oh my god, this girl has lost it since her divorce 5 days ago. Think what you wanna. I've always been a little Looney Tunes. Anyways, I love you guys again. I am letting you guys go again. I'm about to see if I have the energy, like I said, to upload this. And I love you all. Again, my parting ways. Parting words are love yourself. I have this sign behind me that self-love isn't selfish, it's important. And that's the one thing I didn't realize. Also, there's a sign that said life's a dick. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, but it won't be hard forever. And I love that one. That's my favorite sign. And the other one's I'd rot in hell with you. You can tell though, I'm still a lover girl, because all of this stuff in my room screams lover girl. It may be skeletons, which my dad was a little freaked out by when he stayed in my room, because there's so many like skulls, skeletons, and weird shit in here. But we all have a skeleton, babe. We all have a skeleton under here. Like, some are harder to find than others, but it's there. We all have bones, and all this is just like to the core. Like, to the core, I love you. All the way to your little bones, I love you. So that's where I love you, at the deepest part of you, all the way to your bones, all 206 of your bones. I've been taking these quizzes like in the medical field, and I still got it. I only missed one, and I fucking destroyed the whole quiz after that, because like I told you, I don't like being imperfect. So I was like, I'm just kidding. But I did stop answering the questions after I got one wrong, and I second guessed myself. But like, I've taken so many quizzes on medical shit, it's crazy how much my mind remembers about that. I haven't been in the medical field forever, but I still remember everything like it was yesterday. And I have this book, I love this book and I will never get rid of it, and it is so beautiful. It helped me get through medical assisting school, and then I had to redo like anatomy when I was getting my fake bachelor's degree. And that book came in handy. It tells you every single nerve that runs throughout your body. It is so detailed, and it's where you can fill it in because they have the cover sheet that's like clear that goes over it and labels it, and then you can label it like with a dry erase marker to see if you know. And a lot of that stuff I didn't use, but I still loved memorizing it. Like I love the medical field. I will never fall out of love with the medical field because there's so much to learn, and just when you think you've learned, there's so much more. It's so, like, things I learned back in the days no longer apply, and that's crazy. I love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.